Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about X Factor issue 19. Here we're going to see for the first time in action Apocalypse's three horsemen. We still don't have the fourth one. Obviously it's Angel, who has been converted into Archangel or Death. But it's super cool how Louise Simonson during the whole run is just really building up this whole situation. And before we get into the story, I do have to make the really stupid observation that I made previously. Why the hell are there so many helicopters in these issues, in these stories? This standalone story has helicopters all over the place, but that aside, let's get into it. So we have Apocalypse, and he wants to test his three horsemen. Now, all these characters we have been presented during this whole series where Apocalypse saves them or helps them in different types of situations. In a way, the writer really illustrates the fact that Apocalypse takes advantage of a certain type of need that these characters have, offers to upgrade their powers, and a future full of glory or carnage, whatever. So we have Famine, that through her touch she can disintegrate all organic matter. Then we have War, that basically can make anything explode within his line of sight when he claps his hands. And last but not least, we have the ex-Morlock, Plague. And if she's able to physically touch you, she's able to give you an incurable disease. So we get to see right off the bat that War and Famine really do not get along. And Apocalypse actually uses Plague to get both characters back in line. They both get infected by her virus. This scares the living bejesus out of both characters, and Apocalypse does have the cure, but tells them, look, you guys have to stay in step with me, no more squabbling. So what happens is Apocalypse sets his three horsemen out on New York City. He wants to test them, battling the members of X Factor, because he does have a certain fixation on the team, and later on we're going to learn that he's going to try to recruit them to his cause. So not only in Salvador is testing his horsemen, he's analyzing the potential of X Factor, seeing how their powers work. Now during this time, Caliban is one of the members of the team. He's going to end up defecting and joining Apocalypse, and he's going to become the Horseman of Death. And then way down the line, he's going to become Plague. Caliban's story arc in general, it's fantastic. I really love that character. So we have this battle erupt in the middle of Central Park, and X Factor are trying to hold their own. We have news and police helicopters swarming all over the place. This will lead to some of the members of X Factor not only having to battle against the Horsemen, but also trying to keep all the civilians safe, especially the people in these helicopters. So what happens in the middle of the battle is that Plague is able to touch Beast. Beast falls to the floor in complete pain, and her powers are just really doing a number on him. Now, thanks to Beast's mutant powers, he's not going to die, but oddly, it's going to affect his intelligence. It's going to be progressive, and he's sort of going to become a dumb brute as this series goes on for a while. And this is actually a pretty interesting subplot, because Beast realizes that he's losing his intelligence, and this really scares him. He values the knowledge that he has. Plague is actually a real piece of work. Like, she's knocked off her mechanical horse, and she starts running around Central Park infecting people left and right. So what happens is X Factor is having a real hard time trying to stop these three horsemen. And what happens with Iceman, who has sort of lost control over his powers due to an enchantment that he received from Loki, he unleashes the full force of his ice powers. This will lead to Apocalypse teleporting his three horsemen away. But he leaves this gigantic block of ice in the middle of Central Park, and now everyone's pissed off with X Factor over this whole situation. They think it's like this weird mutant terrorist act. And this will lead into being the main plot of the next issue, where Rusty and the young mutants that were under X Factor's protection go to Central Park to melt all this ice and clear Iceman's name. You know, issue 20 is like this very shameless filler issue that it's weird that the writer decides to focus on these young characters in the way she does, because the tone of the series totally changes. It feels like we're dealing with a New Mutants title and not with X Factor. But we're going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.